Yeah, I'm just going to give you a quick overview of the trial sites in Gisborne and what we have been through. So there we go. That's how it should look. So we've got 2 trial sites in Gisborne with these 2 smiley faces. Sorry guys, I had to put your pictures up. So both these guys are here today. We've got Tam Jex Blake and Sam Teachin. Sam's orchard is just down the road here, about a few k's, and Tam's, we're going out there after lunch. It's about 15 k's away. So for those of you that don't know Gisborne, you might not be able to see that anyway, but there's a couple of pins on there, and they're both sort of on the Gisborne Flats area. So we just got a little bit of background on the orchards. So Sam's Braymark Vineyard, we used a block of Aphora mandarins, which is a sort of spring-summer harvest mandarin for the trial block. The picture there just shows something that Sam had done previously in a new planting of lemons there that he was using as a cover cropping and for some shelter. So he'd got some oats and vetches and beans and all sorts of different things in there. At the time that was being used to do some conversion to organics and sheltering the young lemons. Tam's place is called IKO or IKO Orchard. We're using some Washington navels, which is a good old Gisborne mid-season navel for the trial area. It's a 15-hectare orchard altogether. It's got a mix of mid and late season navels and some mandarins in there. If you're watching the TV on Sunday evening, you may know that it's also a big sheep and beef farm, so she'll sign autographs later. And they're using some sheep running through that orchard, which is really interesting to see. And as we walk down from the yard into the trial block, you'll see the effect that that's had at reducing or eliminating the weed spraying under a number of those trees. So it's really good to see. Just put a bit of a diary in of the story so far, because as Jeff alluded to, establishment has not been the easiest phase of this whole project. September 2021 we had a workshop and field day planned. We're going to hold it in here, and then some fella got COVID in Auckland and we got locked up for quite a while. So that was the end of that, and we had to move all our planting dates back into October. Then we got shed loads of rain. We got some big 200 mil drops of rain, and we finally got some planting done mid-November last year, and then it went dry. So you can see on that picture probably a bit of patchy establishment. That's up at Sam's block. A little better at Tam's place, a different type of soil, a bit siltier, so it went a bit better in there. We got weeds out competing the block. We did some mowing and it started to come right a bit, but we decided to have a replant in autumn. I still can't get my seasons right. So we replanted in April, and then it went cold and wet. So yeah, it's been a bit of a nightmare, because that happened at the end of April, heavy rain, poor establishment. And so we thought, oh, well, we'll do it again in the spring, because that'll got to be better after last year. And of course, it hasn't been. So unfortunately, Sam's place is still unplanted. I've just been away for 3 weeks, and before that we went and had a look, and there was still water running down the rows. It had been sprayed out in anticipation, but it just wasn't going to happen. And I believe over the last few weeks it's been fairly wet here right the way through, so that one hasn't happened yet. We did get a replant done up at Tam's at IKO on the 27th of October, and we'll head up to see that shortly, but don't get yourselves too excited, because the weeds and the barnyard grass have also loved these conditions, and they've come up pretty heavily. So we're just putting a bit of a plan into place as to how to rectify it. And there'll probably be a little bit of stitching in some new, some more seed, especially for the flower strips with the no-till drill that we'll see outside. So I say we'll see it later today. There are some patches which are looking good, but it is coming up quite slowly. And there's still a bit left from last year that we did, so that's a good comparison as well. There's just a few pictures there of how we did get some establishment last year, and we got some of the flowers and species up, but we're just, yeah, shouldn't be this hard, but it has been. So yeah, we're still working on it. And that's me.